The last time we spoke, I discussed the advantages of being a Christian and what God has done for us as believers and how He has given us His very nature to become the sons and daughters of God. According to the Bible, in the 3rd verse of 2 Peter 1, it reads, according as His divine power hath given us unto us all things that pertain unto life and godliness, through the knowledge of Him that have called us to glory and virtue. Virtue can also be translated goodness, whereby are given unto us exceeding great and precious promises, that by these ye might be partakers of the divine nature, having escaped the corruption that is in the world through lust. And there's a couple of things that I gotta get to in the future. We're going to expound on, but today specifically I want to deal with the word virtue or goodness. One definition of virtue was moral excellence, to avoid doing wrong. You know, as believers, the last thing that we even think about is doing wrong. I can remember when I was in basic training, there was this guy in my flight who I always thought was unique. I can remember there was a time, but it was a question of morality or a question of doing what's right, because his roommate had done something wrong, and I don't recall exactly what it was that he did, but his roommate did something wrong. And when he was asked or what his roommate had done, he thought that he had no recourse but to tell the truth. And when he came back to his roommate, he did not understand why it was that his roommate was mad at him. And I can remember all of us shunning him because he was doing the thing that we should have upheld him in and told him was correct behavior. And sometimes this is how the world looks at us as believers. If we were operating like the Bible tells us to operate, many people would have issues with us because we avoid doing the things that are wrong. You do what's right. But we find these Christian or believers these days who not only toe the line, but they cross the line when it comes to them doing what's correct. But Peter is admonishing us to add to our faith moral excellence. Doing what's right at times can be very difficult. When right and wrong becomes great, then the question becomes, are you really doing the things of God? In fact, sometimes doing the right thing can make my situation even worse, because telling the truth sometimes can be very difficult, and doing what's right sometimes can be difficult because of all the pressures that we face in life. I hope I've said something today that will help you in your walk with Christ.